You're still high, so just move that a little bit. We're out here in the deserts of southern Idaho getting the rifles ready because spring bear season is almost upon us. But this week we're going a little farther south to a completely different desert. I'm taking a great group of clients down to Mexico as they go after mule deer. Giving Back is brought to you by Safari Taxidermy, preserving the memories of your hunt for over 40 years. German Precision Optics, exceptional optics at an exceptional value. Kenetrek Boots, for the trail less traveled. Eberly Stock, go in light, come out heavy. Monster Camo, your off-road hunting gear. Magnus Broadheads, superior quality and outstanding performance. Hammer Bullets, advanced technology, simply better. Post-production and editing by Co-op Outdoor Productions. You know, this part of Mexico that we were in, the countryside was vast. It was so wide open and you could see for miles. So what our strategy was every day was to get to a vantage point and just get the optics out. Today I was with a good buddy, Michael Hansen, and his guide Colette. We moved into an area that morning and just started glassing to see if we could pick any bucks up. That day we were out there, the wind was absolutely brutal. It was howling and it actually made glassing really difficult. So, you know, we just kept moving from canyon to canyon, trying to locate some deer for Michael to go after. You know, we were seeing quite a few bucks that day, just nothing really that Michael wanted to go after. So we would check one area out for about an hour and then move to the next. You know, we covered a lot of ground that day, and we did put our eyes on quite a few deer. Just not really what Mike was looking for. So we headed back to camp that night, knowing that tomorrow was a brand new day. This segment is brought to you by Co-op Outdoor Productions.
Technically hunting to me.
Yeah.
It's not shooting.
Well, like I told, the other guys that if I
Let me ask you this. Would this be a good time to get the rifle?
yeah, you can.
Well, I'm going to tell you why. Because I've made that mistake
never
once
know,
before.
yeah. They could pop out of the field.
Oh,
dude.
dude, they could pop out
Yeah,
anywhere.
I would. That's a Mennonite house over there, ranch, and they've got a lot of llamas that are on this hill here.
You know, that next day I went with another good friend of mine, Paul Wilstrop, and his guide Dave. We headed to a completely different area of this ranch and just started glassing. It didn't take long, and David actually spotted a really good buck, but he was over a mile away. He was over on this hillside, and there was quite a bit of open terrain between us and him, but we wanted to get closer and get a better look at him to see if it was something that Paul wanted to go after. You know, we got up there and finally laid eyes on the deer. He was a little under 400 yards away, but we just couldn't tell if it was the same buck we were looking at. So we decided to hang tight and just do some glass and let him make the first move. You know, we couldn't tell if this was the same buck that we had seen before, when all of a sudden we looked to our right, and the big buck we had seen early that morning stood up about 300 yards in front of us. That buck fit around that brush pile and he turned and started feeding right towards us, which was crazy. I was behind the guys a little bit and I thought they had a clear bead on him, but Paul was laying a little low and couldn't quite see him as well as I could. But he was getting closer and closer, and I was just waiting for any minute for that shot to ring out. As that buck trotted off, I knew that Paul had had a pretty good look at him and decided it wasn't the buck that he wanted to take. It was still early in this trip, so we had plenty of time left to hunt.
Well, I want to shoot a mature deer and live another season and see what happens. He's real pretty. So we drive up. Dave sees some on the side of the hill. Turns out about 850 yards. So good eyes for the old man. But anyway, put a good stock on over 1,000 yards. Cut in with about 390 yards. And after seeing a smaller buck bedded, found the bigger buck. And turned out to be a young 3x4 with a giant frame. Outside the ears, real tall. And just going to let him go until next year. And got a few more days to go.
This segment is brought to you by Safari Taxidermy. That next morning we decided to go to a different part of the ranch, and it didn't take long until the deer started to show up.
I think that's one to the right. One definitely was the left because it just moved.
Oh, I see it now.
There was one to the left of that tree and it just walked off.
Walked over the top.
You know, we were finding a lot of deer this day as well. Just really nothing that we wanted to shoot. But man, just taking in the beauty of this landscape made it all worth it. We covered quite a bit of ground that day and we actually saw quite a few deer. We laid our eyes on a few bucks, but really nothing that Paul wanted to go after. At the end of the day though, we were blessed with an absolutely beautiful sunset.
So I see the four to the right, but look just to the left of them and tell me what you see there. Two just came to meet them. One of them looked kind of bigger body, but
You know, the last few days we had seen a lot of deer, but we just couldn't locate the bigger bucks. They were kind of staying in hiding. So Dave and Paul and myself decided to go to a brand new area. We We decided to go to the end of this ranch and hike up this steep hill and get on the other side where we had access to, well, as far as the eye could see. Our plan was to get up there, sit for the day, and try and pick up one of these big bucks when he started moving. You know, that wind didn't let up any day that we were down there, so we knew these bucks were going to stay close to the brush piles. We sat there for a while, and it didn't take long before Dave started picking up some deer. Dave picked up what he thought was a really good buck, but we just couldn't tell. You're glassing these deer from so far away that it's hard to really judge them. But we decided to go after this one. We had to get down off this hill, around the corner, and get a closer look. This segment is brought to you by Hammer Bullets. When we got down to the bottom there, we were totally out of sight of those deer, which was a good thing. We also couldn't see them, so we didn't know which direction that they were moving in. They were feeding one direction, and we decided to go that way, hoping that they hadn't turned around. We came up over the ridge and we could see some does and fawns, but that's all we could see. That buck was nowhere to be found. And then all of a sudden, he stood up right in front of us.
You showed him his neck?
Oh shit, he got all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, he's going.
Good
Nice.
job, man. That's a nice buck.
Dude, he's better. Way better. Look, he's got 5.
Yeah, that's why I say he's on it.
Let me check this out.
He's done.
He's got good forks, man.
Oh yeah. You know what I was seeing? That little point. Make it look like a crab in front. That's a good buck.
Dude.
That's a damn good buck.
Yeah, that's not.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
I'm glad he gave me the
Nice
opportunity
eye
for number
guard.
2. Oh no, he's beautiful. Sweet. There you go, baby. Is that... That's good. That big body buck. Well, we saw that. Well, hey, Dave spotted this deer early this morning, and I believe there were about 7 does with him, and we watched him for a good 30 minutes, and just watched and decided, based on what we could see from roughly 800-900 yards away that is worth a closer look. So when we got down, they weren't exactly where we thought they were. We're creeping through the brush and spot a fawn, and Dave spots him standing there. So best I could do was hide behind a bush, and of course, thank goodness Erin was there too for his keen eyesight. But I just told him, I said, all I can do is stand up and shoot and hope it's on. And so we ended up getting him and harvesting him. And I'll tell you what, he's a 5x4, and he is far better than we thought he was from the spotting distance. And I'll tell you what, there's 3 real excited guys this morning. And we're real happy to be down here in Mexico and enjoying the hospitality and the great deer hunting. So if anyone wants to go, I guess Erin can give you all the info. Thanks.
Man, what a great week down in Mexico. Getting to spend time with some great people as they chase mule deer. What an unbelievable time. And this was my first time ever going to Mexico, so I didn't even know what to expect. All I've done really is just seen stuff on the news, heard stuff in the newspaper about Mexico and the US, and quite honestly, what I saw when I was down there was guys from different backgrounds who spoke different languages, but they all came together for one reason: hunting. And when you see stuff like that, well, maybe there's hope for this world yet. Thank you guys for watching this week. We'll see you next week on Giving Back.
If you would like more information on this hunt or any hunt you are thinking of going on, please contact Erin at the number below. As an international hunting consultant with Outdoors International, he can help you put together your next hunt of a lifetime.